a counselor here. We have Rejoice Mutheu, a mental health advocate, and we have Dr. Kevin Nyangwachi, a faith and wellness advocate, as well as a medical doctor. Is it a veterinary? You know, I don't want to bite my mouth with that. Quite a mouthful. And we have Frank Francis Okanga, a counselor as well. Karibuni sana to TV47 once again.
Thank you.
And I want us to start with you, of course, Daktari there. What would you say about our topic of the day? Could you be the toxic one? You know, usually we say, oh, you're in a toxic relationship, but more often than not, we don't look at the mirror and say that, you know, I am the toxic one. How do you relate to that topic when you hear it, when you meet your clients or when you meet people in the streets and you tell them, you know, maybe you are the toxic one? How do you relate to that topic?
Good morning, and we thank God for this beautiful morning, and we also thank Him for the continued peace and tranquility that we are experiencing in our nation. As you have already seen that our official delegation and fellow Kenyans are already in Homa Bay to deliberate on policy formulation on how to better the devolution.
First of all, what do you think? Is it 12 years or 13 years before you proceed?
From my own calculation, I think devolution started in 2013, so it should be 12 years, turning 13.
All right.
Yeah, so switching gears to what brought us here.
Yes.
So toxicity, for me, I think I want to relate toxicity from my own perspective, because toxicity, when you harbor toxicity, it will deny you a lot of things like peace of mind, happiness, and it will lead to creating enmity. And if you are in a relationship already, it is going to wreak some havoc in your relationship, and in the long run, you're going to break up. When you break up, I think it's going to create an enemy, which is not right. So backing it from a biblical perspective, when we go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, the quester, the wise man, tells us that there's nothing really new in this world. So these things have been already there from the beginning of the world. And going back to the other gender, the book of Proverbs 21, verse 9, it says that it is good to stay in a certain corner in the house or in the rooftop, rather than staying with a toxic woman or a nagging spouse, or rather to cut across, not to even to take sides. So it is not wise to be toxic, or it is not good for your own sake.
All right. Rejoice, how do you relate to this topic? You know, when you tell someone, are you the toxic one, would you believe that some people would believe that they are actually the toxic ones in relationships, and they actually know it, that they're toxic?
Thank you so much. Now, I'm happy because this topic relates to mental health. And for me, being toxic or not being toxic is not about a blame game. It's about self-awareness and, you know, accepting to walk that journey. Because toxicity, it's not something that is visible. When we talk about a human being, we talk about a human being in the body, that is physical, in the spirit, that is spiritual, and also physical, that is in the physical, and also the mind, now the mental health bit. And so today, I believe we are talking about the mind, toxicity. So for me, toxicity, it's something that is two-way. It is something that is not about a blame game or accusation. It is more of self-awareness. And there has to be two people in agreement for this to work. Because you could be toxic, but you can't see it, while I see it. So what is the beginning point? The beginning point is always accepting first that, you know, I could be toxic. If somebody tells you that you're toxic, you should not, you know, it is not a battlefield, you know, of who is right, who is wrong. It should be like, what then can we do to avoid this? Because again, nobody wishes to be toxic, absolutely not. It is just a mental health struggle. And therefore, it is such an important topic. It is such an important aspect in any kind of relationship that should never be taken for granted. And there's always solution to everything, because remember, toxicity, it is learned. And therefore, it can be unlearned. Yeah.
When you say toxicity is learned, who exactly teaches people how to be toxic?
All right. When I say it is learned, most of the time it is unconsciously and indirectly. And it starts not just in a relationship, it can start from childhood, socialization. When you come, for those of us that come from dysfunctional families, you know, we unconsciously learn from there. The environment that we grow up in. Some of us, we've grown up in the ghettos, where the kind of families that we have there is very dysfunctional. So you learn, some of us as we grow up, we learn toxicity from our environment that we grow up. And therefore, that's why I said it is not a blame game. It is okay. The most important part is, are you ready to unlearn? Are you ready to change? Are you ready to walk the journey? Yeah. All
right. Richard, how would you describe toxicity? I know we've talked about this topic a lot, but now how different does it present itself from, you know, we have others like narcissism, for example?
Thank you, Dida. Just like my fellow panelists have been making mention, attempting to describe what toxicity is. I think it's a shorthand for describing behavior patterns and actions that would harm and hurt or bring stress in relationship. In the normal interaction of ordinary day-to-day life, there are behavior patterns that would come out of someone consciously or unconsciously, that one would be categorical to say that is not healthy, that is toxic, that is harmful. It seeks to injure and to bring, to debase an individual. So knowing that's the origin where people use it, too popular in this day and age. We never used to say those things when we were growing up. But the generation Z, they've come up with something else. And it's imperative to go back to do an audit, a self-audit. Why do you do the things that you do that seeks to hurt and harm to people? You say disparaging things, statements towards people. You're passively aggressive in relationship. You have a punitive behavior pattern towards individuals who are closely connected to you. It could be a spouse, could be a working colleague. It could be a business relationship, and someone's like, this guy is good, but is toxic. Or this, you're dating someone all of a sudden and someone says toxic. What is that you're trying to describe? You should be able to point it out. But the subject here, could you be the one that is actually toxic? You need to be honest and do a self-audit of yourself and say, I think there are things I do and say that hurt, wound, and inflict pain to people that I genuinely love and care for, and I seem not to know where this is coming from. Like she has said, could be a childhood trauma that you went through. It could be rejection you're experiencing when you're growing up. The natural experience in real relationship, you can't give what you don't have. If you're involved in a relationship and someone is requiring a lot more from you and you don't have it, it's hard to give it. I always describe it by saying, if you dig a dry well and expecting water and you keep going, the best you get is gravel and sand. There's no water in there.
Right.
So when someone comes as striking with anger, painful remarks towards the people they care for, just now do an internal audit of yourself. You could be toxic, and we see it by the things you say and the actions that correspond with the things that you say.
Frank, let me come to you now. How does toxicity present itself in relationships from where you sit?
Thank you so much. First, we have to know that when we talk about toxic relationship, we are talking about a detrimental and unhealthy dynamic. Simply, it's unhealthy relationship, a dysfunctional relationship from one person to another, whereby you find the other one is affected, maybe emotionally or physically, by the behavior someone else is doing to them. And in most cases, you find that it is somehow, I can say, sometimes it comes over power control, manipulation, sometimes maybe lack of support, demeaning, and in most cases, it is, I can say, it seems, especially in the current world, it is like it's inherited. You find someone who's in a certain relationship, maybe he or she was hurted. And from point of being hurted, moving into another relationship after healing, you find in most cases people don't heal completely. So they move in with that heart of a heavy heart, a heart that they call, nowadays I hear them saying that they're hardcore, you know? So those are things they've learned from their past relationships. So when we talk about toxicity...
Nowadays they say gangsters don't cry.
Yeah. In fact, that's what they say. So in fact, you find it's very difficult in handling it because in most cases, nobody wants to accept that I am toxic. Or things that I do sometimes I feel in most cases, I am the one who is the problem. So no one wants to admit to that. So you find healing it and treating it or doing away with it, it's difficult because no one wants to accept that they are the ones, or maybe in some of their behaviors, they are out of negativity to other partners. Yeah.
All right. Regis, you're talking about self-audit. And you know, somebody might not actually know that they're toxic. The way Frank is talking about it, and Richard has also said something along those lines. But now, if we want to self-audit, if I want to self-audit myself, how would I know that, you know, the things that I'm doing, say even in the work environment, at home with my relationships, that the things that I do that are actually warning signs that I'm being a toxic person to my partner? Let's look at it from the relationship perspective, to my partner.
Honestly, you'll definitely know through your actions, how you behave, how you treat your partner. And most likely, somebody is going to talk about it. Your partner is definitely going to talk about it. Because, you know, when you talk about the mind, mental health struggles, like there's no way, for example, you wake up in the morning, you don't even greet someone, the kind of words that you use, very hurting words, and then you say that is normal. That is not normal. It is clear signs that something is wrong in the mind and something needs to be done. And by the way, in as much as we are talking about somebody, you know, like self-audit, sometimes there are people, I understand there are people who will never accept that they're toxic, but they want to remain in the relationship. Like for them, what we call being toxic, it is not toxic to them, it is normal. And that is where now we advise, from a mental health perspective, we advise the other partner to now like take action. It could be leaving the relationship, because if a relationship does not bring you peace, if it costs you your peace, then it is too expensive. So it will definitely show. And I don't think, unless both of you are toxic, I know there are people who make it like their normancy. Like, we are toxic, you're toxic, I'm toxic, and that is normal. But honestly, at some point, it's like poison. You know, it's like putting water poison in water. Little by little, it will kill you, both of you or one of the partners. Yeah, so you cannot live in a toxic relationship as a normal human being.
All right. I'll be coming back to that point that you've made. But Dr., do you agree that, let's come back to that point of toxic versus toxic. People who are toxic just living together. Is it possible for them to thrive in that particular relationship? Because, you know, if they're toxic and this is something that they've normalized, and sometimes maybe the point I wanted to make was the one Rejoice made about sometimes it's in the mind, a lot is going on, you don't want to greet someone when you wake up, but maybe somebody is going through depression. They don't know if they're toxic or not. They have literally problems that aren't even toxic, but they really don't know what's going on with them. Then how do they differentiate that, you know, I'm actually sick, I'm not being toxic to my partner, but I'm sick, I have depression?
Thank you for that question. You know, it is good that you've come to whatever I wanted to start with, but you've come to it. Because for you to become toxic, there are triggers. There's something that will allow you to be toxic. You cannot just wake up one day and decide to be toxic. Of course, everybody has those little traces of toxicity. But let's say maybe you are going through something which is troubling your mind, and you start, you have a mental breakdown, and now you start passing your grievances to your partner. Your mateso yako unaanza kupea your spouse. Yeah, so I think that one becomes something bad, because often that can result to gender-based violence. If you have a mental breakdown and you want to pass it to your spouse, perhaps he's not a mental health expert to examine that you're going through something, and probably if you have not spoken to him or her and shared your problems with him or her, so that your spouse can be at a position to determine or know what you're going through. He's going to assert some pressure, but the spouse is going to react. And in the process of you acting and reacting, it's going to result in conflict. This conflict is what normally we see as a result of gender-based violence. People killing each other, and maybe divorce and other things, which normally we see. So it is good to examine that what is triggering you to be toxic. And perhaps if you are brave enough to maybe seek some help from mental health coaches and coaches to counsel you so that you can come back to your feet well and good. Yes.
All right. And Dr. just to expand on what, Richard, just to expand on what Dr. is talking, you're also a Dr. Why am I even family? and when we talk about from the mental health issue, how do we now differentiate? How do I know that, I'm not going through depression, I don't have these mental health issues, but I'm actually becoming toxic to, my partner in my relationship? Because if Rejoice talks about sometimes you wake up and you're not saying hi to your partner, then definitely there could be a problem, there could be a trigger. But now how do I differentiate that this is a mental health issue from now it being a toxic issue?
There's a statement I remember quite well when we were in school doing physics. There's to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Daktari, want to acknowledge him as a doctor. Me, I'm not a doctor.
All right.
Unless it's a postal address that came to me. You can become a doctor through post office.
So counselors are not doctors?
You can be a counselor and you can be a doctor in practice because you've gone through that direction of learning. But I would want to place emphasis, him being a man of faith is also saying that you do to others as you'd want them to do unto you. But if you find yourself in a relationship, you do certain things like stonewalling. You're always given to punitive behavior pattern. I do this to you before you get back to me. Quite likely you have something that is going on that you've never been able to reveal to others, or you don't even acknowledge yourself. Like she has mentioned, you don't even acknowledge that you're toxic. And you normalize a lifestyle where you're vindictive towards each other. You get into a relationship with your husband and you're always at loggerheads with each other. And you need help. And also, what I will always say is that normalize the need to go for therapy and counseling. Don't wait until it's that bad to go for it. You know yourself better than everyone else. I'm married, but this is the truth in practice, that when you're pursuing this young lady to get married to her, there's a place where you seem to have several things that seem to be aligned with each other. But the real deal When you get married, then you discover actually you're totally opposite from each other. Now, you can use that opportunity to attack each other and fight each other, or you can use that opportunity actually to forge a healthy relationship with each other, in spite of you being different, raised up different, growing up different, or you can attack each other. My wife likes to stay up a little late, longer than I would. I go to bed early, and I rise up very early for obvious reason. I slept early, so I rise up very early. So when I rise up very early, there are things I would naturally do because I'm the first to rise up. So for the last 17 years, I do the breakfast. I clear the sink. I mop the sitting room. I prepare the kids to go to school. And I have no problem my wife staying up sleeping. Now, it's another thing, if I grew up with a toxic conduct, mwanaume lazima. Mwanaume.
Finding that interesting.
That toxicity which was passed on to me, I can bring it into my household and could be a springboard for chaos and trouble in my own union. You get it? There are things that are passed on because of observation, because of the need to soothe your ego. You have an egotistical behavior pattern that always needs to be soothed. There's nothing wrong with clearing the sink. But someone else was like, Mimi, ningie jikoni. So it's some of those things that are handed over unconsciously. And then you're trying to leave a script of someone else in your own union. But the truth is, if you have a house that is leaking, do you go buy another house?
No.
You fix the roof. If the toilet is leaking, it's busted, do you go buy another house? You get a plumber to fix the toilet. The same is true in every relationship. If you find yourself there's a place where you're significantly lacking, acknowledge it and seek a therapist, seek a counselor, seek someone who can talk to you. And we're there to help you. Yes. All
right, Frank, now we're talking about seeking therapy. But now, when should I seek it before it gets to a point where now it's full blown? You know, Ziwa is saying here that we should not wait until it gets to a point where things are now worse. But now, what are those early warning signs that I, as somebody, because we're talking about, are you the toxic one? That I, as somebody, should look out for and say, here now I'm doing badly. Let me now go look for help.
You know, most importantly, relationship is built on positivity. At the moment it starts starting out negatively, or negative things starts hindering the relationship, those are early signs of that things are not working as each one of you wanted them to work. Because it's based on support, it's based on sharing the little things that are happening in a relationship, the little wins that are happening in a relationship. Whether it's your partner or you are the one, whether she wins something, however little it is, whether it's a job promotion, whether it's a business maybe win, whatever, whether education-wise, we have to celebrate it together, because that's what some of the things that build strong relationships. But the moment there is that negative energy, whereby something happens as like nothing happened, it starts to turn out that already it's out of control. In most cases, many people don't want to seek therapy and maybe consultation. In most cases, you find instead of people seeking consultation at early stages, they wait until the end when already very bad things have happened, maybe even there's gender-based violence. It's when people seek maybe guidance and consultation. But to me, the moment you feel that this relationship, there are things that are happening, and in most cases I've seen it's all about power control. You want to have control over me, I want to have control over you. And as it has always been, a man will always be the head of a relationship. The moment a woman becomes the head of a relationship, that is the failure in first case. And in the current world, whereby so long as a woman has a job, then she can take control of everything. I think it's killing relationship. That's why you find there are a lot of single men outside here, single ladies outside here, because everyone feels that they have control over a relationship. And in fact, with that power, control, that egocentric character, you find they are not even able to seek for guidance and consultation because they feel like they're the right ones. They can leave this relationship, go to the other relationship. But according to me, the moment you feel there is some negative energy that is driving in your relationship, that is the immediate time you have to seek a consultation. But again, this is a relationship. It combines of two lovely people. They love each other. There's no way I'm going to seek consultation without informing my partner. So before seeking consultation, you have to talk about it, two of you. It's more better when the two of them come for the guiding and consultation. It makes it easy than one coming for it. Because if one comes for it, and then maybe the other one is not interested, it won't heal the better part of the relationship. So according to me, the moment there's that negative energy, you feel like you should control your partner. She feels like she should control you. You know, we are living in a world whereby everyone has their own principles. Yeah, someone tells you that these are my principles. The moment you go against them, then I will not listen to you. Again, on the other side, you are saying that these are my principles. So you see, that is what is affecting the relationship in this current state. People don't want to listen to others. You want to feel that you should be the one in lead of everything. Yes, as a man, you have to take control. But again, that does not mean that you should not listen. You have also to listen to your partner, because accepting her to be your partner, it means that you're ready to listen to her as well. Same to ladies. So the moment you feel that there is some negative energy getting into a relationship, little things that have been making you people happy, they are now not making any sense to you. That is the moment you have to seek that guidance and consultation. But before seeking it, you must speak about it so that the two of you are coming. It's more better when two of you are coming, because it shows already that you people, you are focused, you are determined to keeping that relationship going. But if it comes, it's a one-side issue, then that's the toxicity you are talking about. The other person doesn't want to accept that this is happening. Yeah.
All right. Dr. do you think that sometimes the principles that Frank is talking about, the principles in a relationship, is the reason as to why sometimes most people now become toxic in relationships when these expectations are not met? And are we setting high expectations for our partners? Because sometimes when we say the relationship has gone on for, say, 5 years, and then all of a sudden you start seeing these patterns of toxicity, is it about the principles that we set, or we have so much expectations for these partners, especially those expectations that, you do not set them from the go?
Of course, allow me to pick up from the point of positivity, and also add another point of, you've mentioned expectations, and what?
The principle.
Positivity. Allow me to add also another point of a motive.
Okay.
So personally, I've come across somebody who is, I can say, toxic, because I think we had started off very well. So we reached a point where I couldn't fully meet her demands, and at this particular time, I think she became more wild. She became more abusive, more disrespectful. She started being negatively criticizing me. She started trashing everything that I could say. As a man, you cannot tolerate that. So I also felt that he was planting some toxicity in me. Her losing respect for me, I could grow angry, and I could feel like if she was close to me or next to me, I could have done something out of control of my anger. I could have done something which is not good. So as I say that I'm going to start from positivity, relationship are built out of positivity, you know, motivating each other, complimenting each other every day, day in, day out. No, there's no a day of in a relationship that you're going to say that, you know, today we are going just to be negative on my partner or spouse, you know. That gap that you're going to tolerate and give a chance to just a little disrespect and something, it's going to start opening a wide gap. And filling it or closing it, it is going to take time, and maybe, perhaps even if you close it, it is going maybe to ring a little time longer than you expected. So it is good to be, always to be positive, even if it, I'm open to criticism, but it should come in equal measure, you know. Don't be too negative on your spousal partner to a point that it can kill some self-esteem and some just morale in him or her. So it is good to be positive, encourage your partner, compliment your partner, if you have an intention to grow that partner. But if you have a motive, so it came a point that I know that she just had a motive to exit. So alikuwa ananitafutia makosa lakini ipatikani. So the only way that she could plot a successive exit plan is to become toxic. And since maybe she knew that I can't tolerate or withstand that toxicity, so she knew that at the end of the day I'm going to let her go. So that's why I plot another point of a motive. You can have an ill motive to achieve, so that for you to achieve it, you have to become toxic. Yes.
All right, Rejoice, we're talking about sometimes the early warning signs to look out for, you know, when somebody is now becoming toxic. But let's talk about before you start becoming that toxic, you know, to your partner. Dr. here is saying that relationships are built on positivity. But if that relationship is all rosy, all bubbles, day in and out, you know, flowers, all of you are positive, but then what happens in between that now, you know, makes me want to be toxic and uninterested in my partner? What are those things that happen in between?
You know, sometimes when a partner all of a sudden turns toxic, sometimes it's not even about you, the other partner. Sometimes it's not even about necessarily from them as a person. Sometimes it could be external triggers.
All right, just hold on there, Rejoice. There's something wrong with the microphone, but we'll be coming back to that point. But Ziwe, let me keep that point for Rejoice. We're talking about seeking help before it, you know, it blows out of proportion. But now, when is the right time to leave? Say, you know, I've sought help, or maybe not. Maybe they waited too long before, you know, they went out there for therapy or counseling. When do I now decide as the other partner, of course, the victim, that now I need to leave this relationship, it's no longer serving me right?
In every decision we make in life, I call them destiny decisions. There are not too many in life. But you know when the right time is right. You don't need to be pushed in it. You just know, this is the right time, I need to get help. And the only way to activate that, avoid procrastinating that choice, that destiny choice, because it has a shelf life to it. It's going to predetermine the health of your relationship. It takes two to work a relationship. It's much naturally easier to point a finger to the other, but often I say, if you point one to you, the three that are pointing to you. Could it be possible that actually you need help, but you're deflecting it on the other spouse? Two, I have a great feeling that I use this model. It's true. You love fish, right?
I used to. I love chicken.
She used to. But you see, someone who loves fish goes fishing. You go to the water, you pick a hook, put a bait on it, throw it in the water, you get that fish, you intentionally pull that string, hurt the fish that you love, You pull it out of water. If you have a cold bucket, you put it in the cold bucket. You freeze the fish that you love. Then you bring it home. Then you scale it. Then you put it in deep fryer oil. You boil it or you cook it to eat the fish you love. Some people treat relationships like that. It's good to investigate yourself. If you genuinely, heartily love that person, what are the values that drive your commitment to love that person? Are you kind? Are you empathetic to your spouse? How often do you take time to sit back without being judgmental, critical, overly opinionated towards your spouse? Because those are the things that are toxic traits in the relationship. What's your drawback? Where do you go to seek some measure of counselings where you are accountable significantly to someone, that when they tell you something, you don't question. You know they love you, they care for you, and they're up to tell you that you need to change it. Yeah.
All right. Frank, how much responsibility would you say each partner carry in terms of just managing a toxic dynamic?
I think it's an equal responsibility of
Even if the other person, bears that weight so much that you cannot even bear it anymore. He or she is so toxic for you. How much responsibility do you have in that case?
If you are dealing with a toxic partner, in most cases, you can realize that you're the one who will realize that this person is toxic. Maybe you try talking to them and they will not accept that they're toxic. In such a case, you realize that you're having a toxic partner. There are some measures that you have to put in place. But exceedingly, if the measures are exceedingly not working, your peace of mind is very key. Because if you don't take care of your peace of mind, then it will lead you into depression. And once you are depressed, then we'll not be talking about you anymore. Maybe you are going to stop maybe having relationships. Maybe you are going to be mad, So if you know that, if you feel that you can still control a toxic partner, then there are some measures you have to put in place, but most likely, or most importantly, ensure that your peace of mind is the first thing on the list. You can try helping them improve. By the way, I'm very sure there are people who manage toxic people to better people. Sometimes people are toxic not knowing they're toxic, by the way. They just do their things. Yeah, it's their behaviors they're used to on a daily basis. Sometimes, as we've talked about it, it's depression. No one is like, who will wake up today and tell you that I'm depressed? Nobody. So, same to toxicity. So, you have to also try to, in ancient times, things are not working how they should be working. You find that I feel like before getting into, especially in a relationship that you are sure that this relationship, the goal of it is leading to marriage. Before starting that relationship, you have to seek guiding and counseling. I think that's the best way. Because, nowadays, we are busy adults. People even have no time to read Bibles. People have no time to go for even free for consultations. They don't have time to go to church and listen to those teachings. So you find there is just a lot that we are derived in that are making us fail a bit much. So if you can be able to manage a toxic person, I am very sure that some of them can change. Some of them are doing it not knowing they are doing it. So if you can try to, things that you feel that it's always bringing problems between you, the two of you, you can try and avoid doing them, or maybe trying to avoid getting intact with your partner if they are doing this and it's causing problems. Maybe it's communication, maybe it's always that you're not communicating, or you have to start a conversation. If you feel that if you don't start a conversation, it brings problems, then ensure that you always start a conversation. If you feel that, sometimes we blame our partners, but sometimes we ourselves have a problem. For example, you've been in a relationship. You've been motivating your partner, maybe they win something little, they do something little, they dress up well, maybe they cook nice food, you motivate them, you bring them flowers, chocolates, and all that. Then it's just a point now, maybe you stop doing that. Then when you stop doing that, they will misunderstand you. They'll think maybe you're doing it somewhere else, or maybe you are tired with them. Now it starts eating them up that what is this that could have happened that have led to Frank maybe not doing what he's been doing. So there's so many ways that we can help our toxic partners to heal, but again, keep in mind that some relationships are meant not to happen. So be very careful. You may act as a savior, but it may affect you and the rest of your relationship life. So if you're in a position to help, also have some limit. It is to a certain level, and you're like, no, this is not working. Because there are those, as I've said, there are those that they are in toxic behaviors, not knowing. You try maybe changing things on how things have been happening, and you start feeling there is some positive energy coming back. But the moment you keep trying and this, the negative energy still piles up, then run for your peace, because your peace is the most important. You know, we were born and we found people are in relationships. We'll again die, we leave people in relationships. So ensure that your peace of mind, because with me, according to me, I can try as my better to heal a toxic partner. But if it exceedingly doesn't change, then I have to run for my peace, because my peace is very important.
But Frank, how sure are you that that will not rub off on you, that toxicity?
As I said, sometimes it's inherited. You know, you're not toxic. You are living with a toxic person. If you're not careful, the moment you'll walk out of that relationship, you'll carry that toxicity to another relationship. That's how dangerous that toxicity thing is. Because we are living in a world where people don't heal. They pretend to heal. We are living in a people where people don't know what is consultation. We are living in a world where people doesn't know even, there are some verses in the Bible that talks about love directly and how love should be conducted. All that. So if you're not very careful, that's what I've said. If you want to help with some limitations. If you feel that it's exceedingly not helping, then please ensure that you look for peace. That's what I've said. If there is a problem you've realized, and you're like, my partner, I want us to walk to a consultant for help, and you find these people, they don't want to. You know, they are like pretending that nothing is okay. But again, tomorrow the same issue is piling up. Then you have to know that that is early signs of toxicity. Not accepting, not being able to maybe be told anything. They can't be guided. You know, there are some people who are very, they can't be told anything. They feel that you are the problem. However much you try, you are the problem. So the moment it starts turning out that way, ensure that your peace is very key. Because if you lose your peace, maybe you'll be mad, you know? Maybe you'll be depressed, and in fact, things of relationship you want. We've met people. I've met someone who doesn't want to associate with ladies. Yeah? You put him together with a lady and it's very unpeaceful.
Out of heart?
Because of out of toxicity. So it's a very big thing that we are experiencing in the current world, but we don't want to talk about it. It just goes hand in hand with depression. Just the way people don't want to talk about depression, it's the same way people don't want to talk about toxicity. But there are little things, there are very minor things that lead to toxic relationship that we assume that this cannot, but minor things. That's why they say sometimes when you are getting in a relationship, for example, let your friends be my friends and my friends be your friends. Because sometimes the surrounding determines a lot in our relationship. Yeah.
So, Dr. how do you handle somebody in that case, as Frank says, who refuses to acknowledge that, you know, they're actually the problem in that particular relationship. When I now come and say, you know, my partner says that, you know, and you're starting to become quite toxic. I don't like when you do 1, 2, 3, but, you know, I fail to admit and work on myself. Then in that particular case, how do you handle such a partner?
As I had mentioned earlier, the people who become toxic deliberately and intentionally, who are there to, who want to use that toxicity label to achieve their motive. And also, there are people who comes toxic due to being a victim of a circumstance. You know, maybe somebody has lost his job or something. Maybe somebody got, maybe he was robbed or something of the kind. You know, it is easier to correct somebody who has become a toxic person through a circumstance. But it's so hard to convince somebody to become untoxic, to detoxify somebody who is toxic and who is filled with a motive or he has some intentions. You want to achieve something through hiding under the toxicity label. So it is easier to know if perhaps your spouse is toxic and you're trying to help him or her and is refusing. You need to dig deeper and understand, is this person here circumstantially or intentionally and deliberate, so that you can be able to know in the long run, how are you going to achieve this and help, help this person. But if you truly understand that this person is here circumstantially, you can be able to instigate and orchestrate on how to help this person to become a better person. But at the moment you notice that this person is here intentionally and deliberately, you should flee. The earlier the better, because you are not going to convince this person to become toxic free because he wants to achieve something under this toxicity. Yes.
All right. Maybe you can hand over your microphone to Rejoice so that she can pick up from that question. We're talking about the signs, you know, that leads to somebody, or triggers that leads to somebody now becoming a toxic partner in the relationship. Rejoice.
Okay, so like I was saying, when a person becomes toxic, you know, you mentioned maybe at first it was roses, it was all good, like what really happened? I was saying sometimes it's not about the person, and it's also not about you as the partner. We have the external pressures of life. For instance, like in our country, you find like maybe you have children, the cost of educating the children is really high. Speaking of the payslip, it's been cut and taxed. You know, those external pressures can also bring about the toxicity. And then this person, because maybe they do not have the power, maybe to go question the government, the people involved, the employers, they come and project all these pressures to the family or to you as a partner. And that is why it is very important to really understand your partner. Sometimes it is never about you as a person, or it is never about the relationship. Sometimes they are just projecting their stress, external stress in the family. And remember, at the end of the day, we see that the family is the basic unit of a society. Life goes out here, beats the person, you know, up and down the hassles of life. It is going to reflect or to be projected at the family level, which is the basic unit of a society. So sometimes try to understand the other person, like where they're coming from, like try to just do your own investigation. And if it's about maybe school fees, you have a new kid on the way, they're worried, like what is this kid going to feed on? My payslip is being taxed left, right, center. Could you you know, like get some way to help as a person? Maybe you as the lady, you are not helping with the house bills. You could, you know, suggest maybe I could chip in because we have a new kid on the way, because we have these changes that have happened in your payslip. You could help, like let me chip in and help with the bills of the house.
And that is a problem solved. So sometimes it's never a rocket science. It's just about understanding the other person, not taking it personally. Remember, it is not about pointing fingers. It is about, it is not about pointing fingers. It is about looking inward and helping the other person also look inward. Because we have said that today we are talking about the mind, not the body, not the spirit. We're talking about the mind. So it's also about helping the other person to understand and walk their journey. Yeah.
All right. Richard, I think you're the best person to answer this question. How do we now keep the love burning? They're saying relationships are built on positivity, but now sometimes it gets to a point where now these toxic behaviors, these toxic signs start to come in the relationship, maybe even 5 years in, as much as even 10 years in. Then how do partners now keep the relationship burning?
Coaching.
Straight on.
You need to be mentored and coached on how to love correctly. And everyone in every relationship needs to know that it takes leadership, and everyone deserves to be led well. A man needs to own the opportunity to lead every relationship they get involved into correctly. One, the reason why a man is called a groom, you groom the relationship. You dictate the trajectory of a healthy relationship. You groom it, you nurture it, you foster growth into it. I like the analogy every time I use in counseling people, that there's a difference between falling in love and walking in love. Anyone can fall in love. It's a trap. We set you up for it, and she sets you up for it. So you fall in love with it. But walking in love, there's a measure of intentionality that goes with it. It takes you to be precautious a little bit, but also intentional in the way you choose to walk. I would recommend something that would work for all the viewers and listeners that we give out for free. It's a free course. It's called Beyond Success. There's something called Beyond Success by John Maxwell. There's a particular lesson that you will learn about relationships, lesson number 5 and number 4. Those two will help you significantly to add value to yourself, because everything that you will ever do in life, it falls and rises on leadership. You need to own up your own leadership, to lead yourself well. But also, if you're involved in any relationship, if the person you're involved with as a man does not take a lead role to lead that relationship, you need to seek coaching, mentorship. You need to find a place where you add value to yourself. Personal growth, make it a priority for yourself.
Richard, what if it's the traditional man? You know, those men who don't believe in coaching and even are quite skeptical about, coming to talk about their problem and their marital issues with a counselor. Now, what happens in that particular case?
Let him go find out that this particular course will help him, will sort him. He does not need to talk to anyone. It will sort him. You do an internal audit of yourself. It matters your priorities. It matters personal growth. Going from a place of success to significance. There are things you've hit, but you're stored somewhere, and you turn it on your spouse. You turn it to someone that you love and care for, and you don't know why you do what you're doing. This particular program helps you to navigate you without anyone involved. You don't need a counselor to talk to you about it. You navigate the material that is in it. You score yourself from a score of 1 to 10. How do you score yourself in this particular area in your life? How do you score yourself when it comes to prioritizing family and relationship? What is your score about your wife, your spouse, the person that you say you love and care for? So it's something that will help you. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll be able to help you, or go to our social media platform and look up for Beyond Success Equip Kenya. You'll be helped.
All right. Frank, we've heard of cases and questions around, why do people stay in, toxic relationships? And we've also heard about familiarity breeding contempt. So sometimes, your partner, we're talking about sometimes go look for help or stay if you can save that relationship. But why would you stay, and why do people stay in toxic dynamics for quite a long time?
That's a very good question. We are living in a world of situationships, and people don't want to take responsibilities. We are living in a world, it's on trend, it's everywhere now. I don't want to mention names because that's very sensitive. But we are living in a world whereby some men don't want to take responsibilities of their life. Some young men don't want to be leaders in their relationships. That's why, for example, you are a man. From time go, from the culture and everything, a man is to lead a relationship. But if a young man doesn't want to work, we are having very lazy men around who are just waiting for ladies to welcome them in their houses. You know, we are living in a world that wanaume wanawekwa. You know, however that much that toxic toxic that relationship can be, you have no other option because the lady takes care of you. She takes full responsibilities of you. You know, you don't want to take responsibilities. You only take responsibilities of romance, and that's all of you. So however much that relationship can be toxic, you're not going to get out because she takes care of everything of you. You know, people live in toxic relationships sometimes know that they should be living in toxic relationships. But it's about targets. Maybe someone wants to stay there for some time, then they'll be out. You know, they have targets. Maybe someone just wants to be called a husband. Just someone wants to be called a woman, or like a wife, that is. So there are targets. That's why you find there are a lot of rolling toxic relationships and ending toxic relationships because to some extent, on the other side, maybe because of laziness. On the other side, maybe because of lack of acceptance. You don't want to accept that this relationship is not working. You are like, unaka kupe, you know? You don't want to accept that, no, to this extent. Because me, I usually say, if a relationship is not working, you'll be able to tell this is not working. As my fellow counselor said, there are people who get into a relationship, and there are people who want to work in a relationship. People get into relationships mostly because I think we should be talking about this. Now this is a show that's talking about toxicity and all that. We are living in a very difficult world whereby relationship is just a cover-up, you know? But whatever is happening behind that cover-up, it's just for pleasure. Yeah, people just want to get pleasure and walk out.
All right,
You know?
we're running out of time, unfortunately, and our time is up for this particular segment. I know we started late, and of course we need to cross over to Homa Bay and pave way as well for the next team, which is our Swahili team. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We're hoping that maybe next week we'll be able to progress with this conversation. Could you be the toxic one? Is the conversation you're having this morning. And again, next week, same time, same place, this could be a continuation of this particular topic. My name is Anne Odide. I've been with Richard Ziwa Zimbaliste, Councillor, Rejoice Mudheu Mwambie, Mental Health Advocate, Dr. Kevin Nyangwechi, a Faith and Wellness Advocate, and of course, Frank Francis Okanga, Councillor as well. You're watching Morning Cafe. Do stay with us. Up next is Matukio, and remember the Devolution Conference is currently underway in Homa Bay County. Anytime from now, we'll be crossing over there, even as we expect President William Ruto to officially open that conference in County 043. Stay with us.